Hi, my name is Emily Adler and welcome to Crash Course. For the next few minutes we'll be talking about Chad. How exciting is that? You probably don't know much about Chad. But by the end of this video, I guarantee you'll know a lot more. To start this video off, I'm going to share some basic facts about Chad. Chad is located in North Central Africa. There's a population of about 12.83 million people. The capital is N'Djamena. The president is Idriss Déby. Also, there are more than 120 languages spoken. That's a lot of languages. Last but not least, Chadians' life expectancy is only 49 years old. For comparison, United States life expectancy is about 79 years old on average. That's 30 more years that a person can be living in a developed nation compared to an undeveloped nation like Chad. Let's talk about the history. So in 1960, a man by the name of Francois Tombouctou led a revolt to gain independence against France. 15 years later, he was killed, and then two men took over. But one of those men turned out to be a dictator and started exterminating Libyans from Chad. There was a lot of bad things going on, so one man by the name of Idriss Déby, who is the president currently, took over, led a revolt against his army, and ended up winning. Let's talk more about Idriss Déby. So, he was one of the most influential leaders in Chad. He overran a dictator. That is a huge deal. That's a big deal. This big. Whoa. Okay, so he overran a dictator and he saved thousands and thousands of people's lives. So once he did that and the dictator was gone, he had to be the leader of Chad. And so he led from 1990 to 1996, and then the first presidential election was held. In 1996, he was elected president. And then he was elected again 4 more times after that, leading up to today, when he's still president. So he's had a huge impact on Chadians because they have trusted him to lead them for such a long time. Okay. We're done talking about political stuff and history. We're done talking about that. Now let's get to the social side of Chad. So Chad is made up of 12.83 million people. But in those 12.83 million people, 120 different languages are spoken, and there's over 10 religions that are, practiced. The two major religions are Islam and Christianity. But then there's also religions that are created by a tribe, or tribes in Chad. And so, animalism is one of those beliefs that are created by a certain tribe, and that's the belief in animals ruling the world and controlling everything, which is native to their country. Okay, so Chad has a republic government. So the Chadians, or the population, is responsible for electing the president, and so the president will be chosen by popular vote. So whoever has more votes gets to rule, just like the United States. And so once the president is elected, then he or she is responsible for choosing representatives for different parts of Chad. Yeah. The caste system in Chad is determined by who owns land, like if you're a part of the government, who trades. So like oil production companies in Chad will have richer employees than a person that would go to the market every day and sell stuff like vegetables, meats. They'll get more money because they have that. And so the more money that you have will guarantee you a higher spot in the caste system. And so the large majority of Chad is filled with peasants or poor people that are in poverty that are also fighting for survival. Okay, so let's talk about food. Now, food is delicious, so I know we can all relate. So in Chad, they make this porridge called boulé. And that is made out of either corn, peanuts, cassava, or sorghum. I think that might be it. And so depending on which crop is grown by, that's what they'll use it out of. So if peanuts are grown closest to them, then that village will make boulet out of peanuts. And so the most common vegetables are tomatoes and onions. Those are incorporated in almost every meal. The most important meat in Chad society is goat. Goat meat is incorporated in every meal. And their milk can be created into cheese, but that is not very common because it can't be preserved well. So goat meat and fish will most likely be preserved so that they can eat it later to lower the cost. And then finally, we'll talk about markets. So the markets in Chad are in almost every village. So each village will have its own market that people come and sell what they have to offer. And then that happens about once or twice a week so that people can get what they need and then leave. Going on to healthcare systems in Chad. So Chad is a very underdeveloped country, so they don't have normal health, like hospitals. They don't have hospitals or care facilities in their country. So if a person gets sick, they'll either have to rely on themselves or the very poor hospital facility. There's one doctor to every 38,000 people in Chad. That is not a reasonable ratio to be dealing with. That means if 30 people are sick, one doctor. 38,000 people are sick, one doctor. It's not reasonable, and so people are having to suffer from this, and they're dying of malaria, river blindness, famine, drought, dehydration from droughts. So, healthcare needs to get better. About trade. Okay, so Chad trades with 7 major countries. France, Cameroon, the US, Belgium, Portugal, Saudi Arabia, and last but not least, the Netherlands. So their materials that they're most likely to trade consist of oil, cotton textiles, meat packing, natron, soap, cigarettes, and construction material. So trading oil will make them the most amount of money. So there's thousands and thousands of oil lines running under Chad to get Chad's funding. But the problem with getting money from oil is that the government gets that money. And so once the government gets the money, the corruption throughout their heads doesn't help anybody else. The 12.83 million people that live in Chad don't get any of the money. It's the government's money. It's located in North and Central Africa, and there's a population of 12.83 million people. Now, we're gonna talk about the history of the freaking country, eh? Hey. But it starts with an M, and then there's a D. So does it really make sense? No. But does it? Yeah. Language. Learn it. The president... The capital is Jamena. Jamena, yeah. The population is about 12.383 million people. I keep messing up. Took over, and he was the leader of Chad. But in 1996, Okay. Now we're done with history and politics. Nobody's very interested in that, except me. Of course. Okay. I'm gonna share some facts. So white. Once he overran the dictator, he had to take a leadership role. Oh my god, I really suck at this.
Thanks for watching.